Well, a question from Deb. What is that? It's a baboon. Is it? Or is it a warthog's backside? Warthog's backside. I thought it was a baboon at first. Two warthogs. It might be those other warthogs that have walked through the riverbed or the drainage line. So, okay, cool. So they were heading up that way. Well, that's nice. Little dove in the background. You see that? Warthog got a fight with the dove. There's the little ones. Yeah, there they go. Oh. The way they move as well. There is just this cartoon aspect, this animated aspect about warthogs. They've got this little sort of very sort of cheerful, you know, jolly good old chap, you know, let's go look around and off through, you know. I do like warthogs, characters of the bush. There they go. We might see them again. We're heading the same way. We actually look a bit like a warthog as well, and I don't mean me or Lieschen. Maybe me a little bit more so than Lieschen. But I meant the Djuma, the vehicle we're on. It was one of the names we considered actually when we were talking about what to call. You know, I'm just going back in some of the history or memories now, Deborah, and I'm going to come to your question because it goes back to the very first thought I had of doing this. But when we changed from the tank always had to be called the tank because the tank. I wrote an ode to the tank. I must actually go learn it sometime for a laugh. But the tank drank and the tank stank and the tank sank. There's a lot of things. But I think the tank would have quite liked to have married a skank in the end. But anyway, that was not part of the ode originally. But the tank was the tank. It was not a difficult thing to find the name for that car. But when we got this one, I've always wanted to drive a 90. I think it's one of the sexiest cars in the world. Is a 90 Land Rover. It's just something iconic about it by now. Incredibly capable off-road vehicle, four-wheel drive. And when we changed to this, and you don't get them better than this. No door on it, nothing on it except the things that you need. We were playing around with a bunch of names, and Nkolobe or Honchi, both were possibilities. Both of those names meaning warthog, because it has this antenna sticking up the back like their tails when they run. But we ended up calling it the Djuma, which is an incredibly fitting name. I know it took a while for people to get used to it. But the Djuma is referring to its ability to zigzag and maneuver, not only through sort of undulating or difficult terrain, but also literally the turning aspect. I can't think of any other vehicle that I'd rather drive in the bush than this. Well, a couple of other ones that I'd like to drive in the bush as much as this, but not necessarily rather. Deborah asking, what was my first thoughts or perception, or what did I think when Graham first said that we'll do this, that I'll be driving around in the bush in front of many people. And back in those days, in front of would have been the way to explain it. I don't drive in front of people. This is really one of the things that we've learned from doing this, is I drive with people. I drive with you on safari, whether it's someone like Deborah or many of you that we know well, or whether it's someone that's maybe joined for the first day and I was trying and figure out what we're talking about. What are these people going on about? We've hardly looked at wildlife so far. You'll get the feel of it, and you'll very quickly start feeling part of this if you haven't done so already. So I don't drive in front of people, but we drive with people. But back in those days, you know, you had grand perceptions. Graham, like myself, he's a very optimistic person. He's got big dreams. He's a visionary as well in many ways. There's a lot of great things I can say about Graham Wellington. We had a fantastic live interview a couple of months ago, one of my most memorable interviews, and we'll have one tonight. Except tonight, Graham will be sort of doing the interview, and I'll be sitting on the other side. And he gave me the sort of the executive summary, as I often call it, sort of the 30-second summary, you know, just something along the lines of, "Hello Peter, my name is Graham Wellington. Don't know if you remember me, but we met back in Pilansberg days," or something like that. And I said, "Yes, Graham, how's it going?" I remember him very well from Pilansberg. I was not directly, but was involved with Africam in terms of finding, those of you that have joined since the early days, that barn owl nest in Pilansberg was one that I found on a walk, and other dens and things. But anyway, I said, "Yeah, Graham, I remember you very well." It's cool. He said, "I got your name and number from Yuri Moorman." Yuri and Pippa had suggested me to Graham, and he said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to do live game drives, and obviously I knew the history of Africam a bit, and also later on the game drives of Africam were running here at Djuma, so I was familiar with the 30-second refresher game drives." And he gave me a summary, and I just said, "Cool, I'm in." It wasn't much to think about or consider about. I played around a bit with video cameras, a little bit in front, but with them as well behind and so on. And we had very different perceptions of ideas of where this was going to go and how it was going to go. But it's been an incredible journey. I mean, it really has been, from the sort of earliest days of it to where it is now, and also to see what will still happen from this. I've some ideas and some thoughts and some dreams and some realities as to what this can go into, but yeah, this is good stuff. We're not planning to just disappear and never do any of this again. There's a multitude of levels to still play around with this. We're only but scratching the surface of how to and what we're doing here. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be like this, but I also expected it to be exactly like this. It's all been part of the, that old cliche about life is not a destination, it's a journey. Except maybe if you were to sort of look at your journey as the destination. Have a look at these impalas, beautiful cloud background there. Well, thank you, Herman. Actually, an awesome view. It's very, very seldom that we get the opportunity to have the sort of the aspect with whatever you're looking at, the impala in this case, and the horizon in the foreground, like we do at this moment. So it's very cool to see them sort of just breaking the horizon there with their shapes. Little herd of impala. On quarantine, it's a herd we know well. They know us well. Karula and Djuma Misho know them well. They know Karula and Djuma Misho well. I think a lot of the things around here that stick around certain areas like we do get to know each other well. Well, on that note, it's almost time for a little break. I'm just going to drive a little bit further, even those impalas, even though they do know us. If we're gonna, I felt like the jigger there for a second. So I had to restart a few times. But if we're going to jump out here and stretch our legs, the impalas will be a bit more nervous with us out the vehicle. And just while we're going to our brake spots up ahead somewhere, Dave Hill, Dave, nice to have in the vehicle as always. Dave's asking if we're going to post a video or anything about our wedding on Facebook or any of those places. Dave will certainly, as I've said, we don't know exactly the context of which and how yet. And again, don't want to create any expectations, but we will definitely share the experience of the wedding. I think that's one of the great things of a great occasion like that, is that you want to share with people that are close to you, and many people from Wild Earth are close to us. So we will share it. To exactly which extent and how and when, we can't say yet, but to put it this way, we will let you know about it. If it is going to be something that you can participate in, if there's going to be any interactive aspect or any other aspect to it that's worthwhile noting, we'll make sure that at least everyone that's on Facebook with us, between Lieschen and myself, we've got a lot of friends on Facebook. We will we'll preempt it or warn you if there's anything you want to join. Otherwise, we'll certainly share the event from both stills and moving pictures perspective.